Listening comprehension.
Online resources. Reading comprehension. Professional success. Motivation. Personal development. Practice. Job opportunities.
Welcome to Teaching Broadcast.
Hi everyone, this is Teaching Broadcast. My name is Jorge Encalada. As you know, here we talk about techniques, experiences of real teachers here in Ecuador about teaching English as a foreign language. We also talk about strategies and techniques. Now, we know that there are a lot of techniques to teach English as a foreign language and to develop the skills that a non-native speaker needs to domain or master a language. One of those techniques is the shadowing technique. Now, today we're going to talk about the shadowing technique, and to help us understand what this technique is, what are the components, and more, we have a fantastic guest today. This is Master Shirley Reeves. She's going to help us understand or gain a deeper knowledge about the technique. So welcome here. Thank you for being here with us today, Shirley.
Okay, thank you for inviting me, Jorge. Okay.
So to begin, what is the shadowing technique?
Okay, shadowing technique. It's important to know this technique was developed by Alexander Reeves. He's a very well-known linguist. But the shadowing involves repeating, immediately after the native speaker says, and then the students or the participant must mimicking with the pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm for the native speaker.
Okay, so there's a repetition involved in this technique.
Involved, a repetition.
So if I ask you which ones are the components of these techniques, which one will be the answer to the question?
Okay, the components or the key elements in this technique, it is very important first, selecting the materials at an adequate or appropriate difficulty level. This is the one thing. Another thing is to focus on immediately after what the speaker says or does. Also paying attention to the rhythm and intonation. Intonation is very important in this part. And gradually increasing the speed and the complexity of the material you have for your level. As I said, intonation is very important in this part because you may say something, maybe a question, do you need some help? Maybe, yeah. But the intonation you give to this phrase change the meaning. Okay, maybe if I can say, do you need some help? Do you need some help? Okay. Oh, do you need some help? It could be sarcastic, rhetoric, or maybe if you are really convinced this person needs help. Okay, so that changed the meaning.
So far we need to choose the proper level of the material that we're going to use. We also need to identify the complexity of the sentences or questions that we are going to listen, or the statements maybe.
Okay. Okay, it depends on the level, as I said. So for the beginning, it's not the same for intermediate, and it's different for advanced levels. When you are in a beginner level, you must do it slower, okay, giving a good pronunciation, and then repeat. Then you are in a progressing level, in intermediate, and when you are in an advanced level, so must be fast, so the speed changes, and the complexity also.
Okay, pretty good. Now, what specific strategies do you recommend for teachers to apply this technique?
Okay, it is important to apply or focusing on the practice. This is important. Every day, daily practice. Use audio materials with a very clear pronunciation. Also start in every level, with shorter passages before progressing to longer ones. and record also and listen your own voice, no? And then that is useful for the self-assessment. And vary the content. Yeah, it's important to vary the content yourself for different speech patterns and vocabulary.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the common challenge that our students could face when we use this technique in the classroom.
Yeah, what is it? Okay, the challenges presented when using this technique are difficulty in keeping the pace of a native speaker. This is the one normally. Also, struggling with the unfamiliar vocabulary and feeling self-conscious about the pronunciation, your own pronunciation.
So those are like the most common challenges. Pretty good. I really agree with you with this point, because it's going to be at first to the material, and then how the student feels when using it. Okay, how confident he or she is going to get with that. Okay, now that we are back, is there any kind of frequency or duration for practicing that's going to be recommended for us to get important and significant results?
Okay, so as you know, that depends on the individual, how he or she would like to improve in speaking skills. But the recommended time could be between 15 to 30 minutes daily per day. That is very beneficial to improve this speaking skill.
Okay, how this technique it's compared with other methods for improving speaking skills?
For improving speaking skills, okay. In shadowing, students or the participant can get a natural flow and rhythm. Okay, that is helps to develop more natural sounding speech patterns. Also, the student or the participant can develop the listening comprehension. Okay, that is, since shadowing involves closely following along the native speaker, it enhances listening comprehension skills simultaneously. So you can speak, but first you listen, and then you can develop this ability. Also, the vocabulary acquisition through repetition and context shadowing as the vocabulary. Pronunciation improvement also you can get as a beneficial. Engagement, and motivation. And also the confidence building. So the students, when they just see that he or she can improve, get more confident, in the pronunciation and how he can express any idea.
Okay, so there are a lot of benefits using this technique. So if you haven't tried, give it a shot. It's going to help you a lot. Now, here we do something with our guests here. So just in 5 words, try to describe your role as a teacher.
It's a tough question. Okay, my role as a teacher could be inspiring, maybe guide, assess, motivation, and learning. Always when we're teaching, we're learning at the same time.
Thank you very much, Shirley, for being here with us. It's a pleasure for me to share these episodes with my partners here at UG. That was today's episode of Teaching Broadcast, and see you next time.
Thanks for having me.